So this is going to be a bit different than my last video. Well, actually, it is still the same video. It's just going to be me giving commentary and explaining exactly the process I went through to almost make it to the end. And while the video is playing, I'm going to explain exactly what survival is all about. So, of course, there's a crash where we are almost pretty much dead. Yeah, we're in a contaminated area, so we have a bunch of different elements against us. It's actually really challenging, and I can only do maybe 2 or 3 of these matches at a time before I start to really become way too stressed out and not being able to function properly. So we have the weather, the cold weather. That's a real problem. So we have to craft clothing continuously or find it. Then there's of course the disease, which we are infected because our hazmat suit gets ripped during the video. And of course food and thirst. And lastly, of course, enemies, NPCs. And there is a different mode where you can actually play against other players, but it's hard enough as it is, and I kind of want to succeed, I want to get to the end. So for me, playing against other players at the same time as all the other elements is kind of a no-go for me, so if you're here to see PvP, this wouldn't be the mode that I would pick, basically. So here I am, I'm starting my journey, hopefully not going to die. And usually, death in this can be very unexpected. You can die just from the cold, just by not paying attention to your cold bar. And so in the beginning I always make sure to craft a scarf. That's just, I don't know, it's always a habit, it's like a good luck thing. I'm hoping it's good luck. So you can see my infection is already starting to become a problem. In the beginning, you really want to make sure you can find as many resources as possible. It takes a long time. I would say almost an hour just in the beginning zone before you get to the dark zone, which is where you need to go at the end to extract yourself out of this place. So you're basically struggling to survive until you can get out. Tools are always useful. And of course, getting warm is also very important.
Detecting lowering of core body temperature. You're in an hypothermia. Increased.
I'll try to explain exactly why I do certain actions too, because sometimes it seems like I'm running in random directions and not knowing what exactly I'm doing, but more often than not I'm trying to plan my route, trying to plan my strategy. Also, it's good to note that NPCs are almost never by themselves. It almost never happens. They're usually in groups of 3. So I was expecting 2 guys to be right next to that guy, and I don't know where they are. At this point, I'm like, okay, I hope I don't die. Ah, somebody already died.
Body temperature has reached critically low levels.
See, I was freezing for a few seconds. I didn't even notice that.
Core temperature is deep below optimal levels.
This place was unique. I actually had never seen a garage like this before. I was surprised. It had been a really long time since I played survival, actually the Division in general. So I was wondering, like, what is this? This door. It's new. Either that or I just really have never noticed it, which could be the case. So I definitely assumed there would be guys in here, so I just didn't know how many at this point, so I'm waiting to see if I can see anybody else. Like that sniper is gonna be a problem. Until I realize there's a second sniper, and then that's even worse. Uh-oh. Also, I find that they actually increase the damage of the NPCs. They didn't used to hit this hard if they were only red, because red is the lowest level of NPC you can find in the beginning. So they definitely made it more challenging. I used to be able to complete a bunch of these a day without really much of an issue, and since they patched that a while back, it's not easy. For some people, you know, who it is easy for, I salute you 100% because really, I think that I have a strategy, I think I know what I'm doing, and then it can all fall apart really fast. Like this, you know, other groups hear your shots and they just come out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting that. And in the beginning, of course, it's extra hard because you have absolutely nothing. I mean, I'm using a pistol. But the good news is, after you've destroyed all those people and you managed to actually make it out, I assumed there'd be a lot of good shred or good loot. So I'm like, yeah, let's check this out. Oh, it's important to note, hunger and thirst both do something. They don't just increase your hunger, the logical thing. I mean, they actually make your health regenerate for a period of time without you having to use a med pack, which is very, very, very important and very useful. Because in this playthrough, I think I didn't even have to use a med pack even once. And often I do, because I get into trouble quite easily. It's easy to find trouble in this map, I should say. And I'm like, oh my god, 2 agents already? Only 2? Me and somebody else? The benefit of that is that there's definitely going to be more loot for both of us. In this room, I was concerned that there'd be an NPC somewhere, but that wasn't the case. Just a bomb, so I was like, oh, well, that's not so bad. Oh, also, important to note that these boxes, that box I just searched right there, it has like a lot of loot in it. Those were not in the original survival. They added that in after they made it more difficult. In fact, I think they decreased certain things to spawn and increased others, and it can be really frustrating because they used to have medicine quite often, but now I found medicine only a couple of times, handful of times. So my strategy here really is, even though other pieces of gear are definitely better than what I'm already wearing, I kind of want to keep my toughness up because I'm extra squishy at this point, and I just want to survive being shot at so that I can make it through the round. Even if my DPS suffers from that, I can handle that. I can deal with that if I can survive longer. Hopefully I'll outlast the NPCs. So now that I see that everybody is dead, the beauty of survival is that when somebody dies, they drop all of their stuff. So I'm like, oh, this is a good chance to pick up on some loot that I would not have normally have gotten myself. And when they're red X, it means they've left the match, so they're no longer like struggling for their life or something like that. Because there is a time period of I think 7 minutes after you go down. You can wait for somebody to come by and try to revive you, but let's be real, survival is supposed to be kind of competitive. It's very rare that somebody will come by and try to help you if you're not part of a team or a group of. Well, you can't actually be in a group, but if you join survival with a group, then they obviously help each other. Which I have done in the past, actually. I used to really enjoy doing survival with other people, but you do have to split the resources, so that can be a struggle too. They're dying of the flu, and you're dying of cold, and you have to fight it out. It can be a bad situation for everybody. So at this point I realize that my hat is already as good as it gets from what I can craft so far. Eventually, if you find higher level gear, you can craft higher level stuff. And this is the part I don't get, like, there should be a button to just convert all of your resources. Otherwise, what's the point? Like, I have to do it manually each time. It's just long and tedious, but whatever. I guess it's to add more time, so that you spend more time doing that, then there's more, you know, your timer for your disease goes down faster. Because you're wasting time, basically. I hear shots, but I don't see anybody. Also, this was my my second match last night that I played, but the first match ended very badly, and it ended because I hadn't played this game in maybe 6-7 months, and you can forget the keys to a game very quickly when you start playing other games of similar styles. So, you know, I didn't even remember the button to vault over stuff, like control. I'm like, what? What's the button to jump? Is it space? Nope. Not space. I'm gonna be extra vigilant here. I'm like, blue drop. Oh. Also, if somebody else was around me, they could come and pick up my stuff, ninja loot, basically, my gear, if I wasn't fast enough at picking it up, or I was too busy dealing with them, NPCs, to gather my stuff. Which really sucks, by the way, and it has happened to me quite a few times. There isn't much you can do. At this point I'm like, shotguns? Because shotguns actually I really enjoy in most games, but in this, in the Division, the shotguns are pretty trashy. They're really not that good. I'm like, it's better than nothing. You really don't want to be too close to NPCs. That's the golden rule. I'm like, okay, let's get the other guy. Let's get him. Let's go. I'll take note when I start to panic. Not yet. Not yet. I'm in good shape. Now I hear explosions. That's not so good. Not so good. Especially since there's only 2 of us left. It used to be medicine, like I said, would drop much more frequently. This, yeah, I said this would be more likely to be medicine, but I have 27 seconds. Let's take a detour. Alleyways are NPC standing by himself, which is kind of rare. My gun does no damage. Then I remember, I have a shotgun. Shotgun to the face.
Warning. Response detected. Infection imminent.
I'm looking at my cold bar when I turn around like that. I'm like, uh-oh, I better find a barrel. I don't care what goodies are around me. If I die of the cold, that's it, that's all.
I should temporarily stay.
And I think actually that stuff spawns randomly. It's not,
Core temperature detected.
it's spread out. It can be really spread out, and sometimes it can be right next to each other, so it's stressful. Stressful having to concern yourself with everything at once, like managing, basically. Tools, tools. I also want to apologize for the chugginess because I'm not sure exactly why that happened. My computer, when I was playing it, it ran really, really smoothly, but it has something to do with the capturing. I don't know. I have to look into that and tweak it a bit because obviously sometimes it's very cringy to see like the slowdowns, and especially when I move really, really fast, you know. Yeah, yeah. An NPC right in front of me. 2 NPCs. I'm questioning if it's worth it, and it's not. So if you can avoid them sometimes, it's for the best. Especially since I can't tell how many there are, and sometimes there's a lot. And there goes the chugginess. This also has, you know, to know when it's a good time to take risks. That can also be a challenge. I'm looking at my cold bar, I'm seeing a house, I'm like, oh, well, that guy can wait, the dead guy, he can wait. He's dead, right? He's not going anywhere. At this point I saw something through the floor, an item, and I'm wondering where it was, and I'm like, oh, it must be this. It must be this. I also looked out the window because you'll see, like for instance, on this side, you can jump out the window, and usually there's more goodies on the roof. And when you drink water, now you can see all the items around you, so it really helps a lot. But you can also get thirsty naturally, like in the game, if there is a timer for that, and you'll need to drink it, you know. You won't die, I think, if you don't have thirst, but I think you will die from hunger and the cold. At this point, getting guns, I'm like, this is great. It's Christmas! Merry Christmas! I want to get rid of that shotgun, because that is not for me. See, what I realize now is that the purple gun I have is a marksman rifle, so you're better to hold on even though it's a blue gun, which is a lower grade. It's better to have that equipped because it's faster than for me to shoot, you know, one shot, one shot, one shot. Single bullet style. Ah, no medicine, no medicine. Uh-oh, uh-oh. At that point, when I actually hit him in the face and he didn't get hurt, I was confused. So I said, forget this. I'm gonna switch to my other gun. I forget sometimes that the LMG takes forever to reload, and I don't think about it because it's not really a gun I usually use. Although, when I played on the Division regularly, before the update, I did have a Hungry Hog. I just didn't really use it that much. I'm like, oh, I need heat. Oh, I'll just stand next to this house that's burning down. I'll get my heat that way.
Warning. Friction detected. Detect lowering of core body temperature. You're at a hypothermia. Increase. Alert. Detection progress halted.
If there had been a lot more players on the server, I would have probably went for the large crate right away, because there's just, you know, it's stressful enough as it is. You want to make sure you get the loot that you get. Also, the port connection to host server, that for me is always a thing. That's been there since the beginning of time. I don't really know what's, you know, the issue. Then I'm starting to realize I need the advanced filter because I can't go in this area. So I'm thinking he died in the advanced area. And of course it's chugging. That's nice. There had to be enemies. How else did he die? Again, I didn't realize I had still 73 bullets in my chamber. At this point, I don't see the guy. Ah, then I saw his head move across the car. By the car, I should say. Bam! And he's dead. Also, I hope my mic quality is better than in my last video because I changed it. I borrowed somebody else's mic.
Body temperature dropping below normal levels.
Obviously, I have to get a better one for myself, but until then, at least this is a better headset. So you see how that person, that player, there's a white icon instead of a red icon? Because he's still actually in survival. He hasn't left, but he's down on the ground. And to me, I'm like, well, I could help him, but I have done that in the past. People have got up, just ran away, and didn't even say thank you. That drives me bananas. So I said, forget it. The guy's on his own. I got this. I'll take care of the whole thing by myself. I realized I don't have the filter required, so I saw my bar going down, and if that goes down, then you can die really fast. So I said, forget it. But usually there's the best loot in those types of places. I still said, forget it. I give up. I'm not gonna investigate yet. I want to be like, come on, computer, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing this to me? But I'm telling you, when I played it, it was smooth. I just don't really get it. I'll probably need to buy more RAM or something. Ugh. The struggle. Of course, I don't have enough resources. I didn't convert my resources yet. And I'm like, I'm sure I had to do it 3 times, and told me only to do it twice, and I'm like, okay. That sound, though. And I know at this point I'm like contemplating, like, yeah, should I get another like med kit pouch? Like, that would be good. But yeah, a turret is exactly what I'm looking for, because that's exactly what I need. A support station is also excessively good, but I want to be able to see where the enemies are. So I'm like, pulse it is, and also pulse takes a lot less resources to craft than medical station.
Warning.
That
Immune
noise
response
means
detected.
my
Infection
disease
detected.
is back on track. My pills have done almost nothing for me. I want more toughness. Toughness, toughness. And for those who don't know, skill power increases the damage of your skills. So my turret would probably do a lot more damage. But I'm trying to rely on myself more than my turret. My turret is more of a distraction. It's also useful if I'm trying to run away from a group of guys. At this point, I'm like, ugh, I don't even know. I don't even remember the guns. I don't even remember that. Convert all greens, because that is not what we're going for. Yes? Convert, convert, convert. So now I realize, okay, I don't have blue knee pads or blue gloves. And then of course, I walk outside and I get blue gloves. So, you know, that's just the irony of the game. But I had enough resources to make them, so why not? Automatically equip them. So I'm like, okay, put my skills, let's go. Let's get it done. Ah, I'm not gonna take my medicine? Oh yes I am. Look, I know what I mean, I don't even remember the video and I know exactly what I'm thinking. Alright, so now my strategy is to head towards the dark zone. Not necessarily get in it, but
Temperature drop.
get closer to it. And now I'm like, what's the button to get down the ladder again? What is wrong with me? Control. That's right. Down the ladder. Of course, blue gloves. Just what I needed. And I'm thinking, how do I get down from this building? Wait a second. Okay. Really bad right now. Jeez. I will actually try to improve this. I think it's terrible, but you know, at least hopefully my commentary makes it a little less unbearable.
Body temperature dropping below normal levels.
Oh, the sign, the hand sign with the purple hand, that means it's there's a boss there. And it's not necessarily something I go looking for because I'm not always prepared for that. And I'm like, how did that miss? How? How? I'm feeling like stressed now, I can tell. I'm starting to panic. The guy's purple. I have blue gear. I don't have purple gear. I forgot I had a turret. That would have helped a lot. Made short work of him. And I'm like, grenade pouch, do I need this? Do I need this? Not really. No. thing I actually really don't like about the controls is the same button to get that little spirally menu with the food and the drinks and all that, is the same button you would use to heal yourself up with a med kit. So you can accidentally just press V and heal yourself up when you don't need to, instead of just trying to get the menu open. And again, I'm like, do I really need grenades? What am I doing? No, I need to head towards the dark zone. That's what I need to be doing. So I've actually wasted quite a few medkits trying to get my menu up. So there's a purple guy, a red guy. They look far away. 2 red guys in front of me. They look like they're shooting somebody else, and at this point I'm confused. Where is the person they're shooting at? They disappear. Again, I'm perplexed. I have a decision to make at this point. Do I want to destroy my turret and wait for it to come back, or try to drag these enemies to me? So I take the brave way, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go up. I'm gonna see what's happening. And then I realized there's 8 enemies. 8! And I don't think I'm prepared for that. Especially since the leader is oh, they're all purple. Like, there's a lot of purples. Forget it. I'm out. I'm ghost. It's over. Slow down, because I'm not quite sure what's in this alley. Actually, there's nobody? That surprised me even more. Oh, there we go. So the first match I did, I ran into a guy like that, the engineer. And when he had me on the ground, I would have survived because I had medkits. Because you can revive yourself with medkits, but he put his turret right next to me, and the turret kept canceling my revive timer. So I had to leave. That was my first experience back at survival, and then obviously this was my real experience back in survival. I do realize I probably would have died at the end. Maybe. Maybe not. Because there's an NPC that spawns right before you extract that you have to kill to be able to leave. And he is crazy hard. Because he doesn't play like an AI, he plays like a person. He like jumps and dodges and does backflips and somersaults and all sorts of crazy stuff. And he heals constantly. So if you don't plow into him constantly, he will annihilate you. Oh, and you can't get close to him. He can one-shot you. Because of course, you know, that they needed to put that as a good game mechanic. Might as well eat. Might as well. I'm still thinking, you know, I need these resources. I don't know. You know, I don't know when you get to the dark zone, the resources change. I mean, they did sort of change that, but they're still there, but they're a lot less common. If I had found that place, the metro station, right where I was, right there, if I had found that earlier, I probably would have went down there because that's actually a really good place for resources, and people are usually too afraid to go because there are quite a few dangerous guys down there, but if you're careful and you're really patient and you're really slow and you take it easy, you can usually get through it pretty well. So I'm thinking, okay, I need to head towards the safe house one last time before I get to the dark zone. And this is where I almost run into somebody, or I did run into somebody, and I was surprised because I keep seeing him go down. I think I saw like one player, one agent remaining a couple of times, and I'm like, how is this possible? Is this guy like Superman or what? There's somebody in the snow. But I don't know what it is or who it is. I can see them. Is it worth it? They're leaving. It said 3 enemies, but I only saw 2 there. And then I look at my cold bar and I realize that that's going down a lot. And then I see this purple light. And I have never seen that in the game before. And I'm like, what is going on? I can't see anything. Like, I'm not falling for this again. I don't need grenades again.
Core temperature is below optimal levels.
And here we are back at the safe house. I can breathe for 30 seconds. Maybe. Maybe. Of course I don't have enough resources. Now it's starting to give me signs that it wants me to move on. It's giving me yellows. And I'm like, okay. Let's do it. I'm sure you can hear my cat in the background. He's just ridiculous. And now I'm trying to remember which gun I need. Because I really like assault rifles in this game. But I cannot remember which one it is I like. There's one that has burst damage, which later on you'll see me take, which was a mistake, because I actually do not like burst damage guns. The recoil is just too crazy for me. So I'm gonna keep the other one. That's the marksman.
Warning. Vital signs indicate probable infection.
Exactly. Now I'm thinking, Dark Zone, where are you? Right there. Let's go. Like, where's the door? Where is the door? I have no more medicine. But I have 50 minutes left before I die. Or die of infection anyway. And then I saw someone. I'm like, what? How is that guy still around? What is going on? He's revived himself like 1,000 times. I don't even know how he managed that. I really don't. I'm like, I want to get away from him. was wondering, did he follow me? Oh my god, he didn't. Thank you. The dark zone is all mine, by myself. So now you see they give a lot less resources, but they give gold resources, which are higher level resources, so. Here you have to be a lot more vigilant. The enemies are a lot tougher. The cold weather is a little bit less severe though. And you can see, like, you can see more clearly. There's going to be less snow the deeper I get into the dark zone. I'm like, oh, you know what, these guys aren't so bad. They don't have guns. They just have baseball bats. Like, ooh, purple gun. Yummy. So now the quest is on for Division Tech. Now this is what you're going to see me do quite a bit, and it's basically I'm looking for a specific resource that's almost impossible to find because it seems like they've actually made it less common. If it wasn't already less common in the past, it's even less common now. And usually they're around gates like that. I've seen them around gates, and they're not usually in the middle of the map. And I ran into those guys, and I wasn't expecting that. So of course I ran back. I wasn't sure who I ran into. 7 people, and they saw me. I was stressed. I was stressed. I was stressed. Thinking, how am I going to get out of this? Then I realize it's a dead end, and I'm like, I need to fight my way out of this. And I'm an idiot, because I literally just saw now in this video, Division Tech right there. All my troubles, they could have been avoided. Come on. I don't even have purple armor yet, so they can annihilate me pretty easily. Oh, actually no, these guys are red, so... you know, it's still a risk, still a risk. Why didn't I go back to the end? It would have, you know, made such a difference. And that was risky right there. Switching my gear in the middle of a fight, that was kind of like, what was I thinking? I was thinking, if I have better armor, maybe I'll survive longer, and everybody was already dead. Uh-oh. Sniper. She tried to run. She did. She didn't get very far. And you see, like, the game is starting to give me some weird graphical glitches. That's part of the game, actually, that weird warping. It gets worse the closer you get to an extraction area. And that's actually supposed to indicate, or it used to indicate, that there was that boss NPC that you had to kill before to leave. And so, I wasn't sure exactly why they implemented it now without him being actually spawned, but I guess it's a reminder to tell you that the release is progressing. So I never saw these shotgunners. I didn't expect them. I was starting to panic. Shotgunners can wreck you really quickly. So I thought they were still coming after me. So I hid, just to realize that my turret had already annihilated them. And I'm wondering, like, my HP is not regenerating by itself, and things could go south really quickly. Something I do like in this game is the sound effects, like the reloading and the walking sounds, the clinking of the guns. I don't know, I love that. I think it's a nice detail. So I'm looking to make sure that I picked up all the loot from all these guys. Ah, I saw loot right there. And ammo, of course. Because there's no ammo boxes in survival. You need to pick it up off of enemies. Now I knew there'd be enemies in here. Only 3. He died again. D long. But does he actually leave? I really don't think so. I think he's still there. I'm starting to panic now. I'm like, did I get in over my head? Was I really thinking about fighting this guy? Because I really don't know what I was thinking. And I'm still thinking they're following me. They are following me. So why did I run into a dead end? I had hoped he stopped following me. Only for me to learn that he actually still was behind me. Oh my god, and it's a purple shotgunner. I was stressed out. I still don't know how I survived. There's guys from both sides of me now. Now I'm really starting to panic. This is the end, I'm thinking. I better just run. Just run. This is an extraction zone, just for the record. There was my watch vibrating. Still guys behind me. Just me now. I'm by myself. I am pretty stressed. Pretty stressed. And I'm thinking, you know, these Christmas trees usually mean there's enemies nearby. And I thought, you know, this was a place that usually bosses would spawn, or a purple guy would spawn. So I'm thinking, okay, there has to be a crate or something around here, but I didn't see anything. I mean, that little nook there would have been a perfect place for a crate, you know? At this point, I still don't have any division tech. I'm still thinking, okay, where is all the division tech? I didn't memorize the map. Even though I'm not even sure that really would help. Like, I don't know. I mean, the placement of the stuff is somewhat random. Some of it isn't. There's a yellow guy. That's a real boss. And you know, if you can fight a yellow guy, it means usually you're able to leave. You're able to get out of this place. But I still don't want to chance it. You know, I'm not gonna fight a boss with a bunch of other guys if I don't have to. So I'm thinking, okay, what can I craft now? I'm gonna have to find a way to get there without running into a billion guys. And there's enemies right there. Purple enemies. And I realized this is a boss. That's where the boss was. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go into there.
Body temperature dropping below normal levels.
These guys I can take. Piece of cake. Thank you for the cash. Again, no division tech. See, that's what I should have made, G36 Enhanced. Because that's usually what I make. So I don't know what possessed me to make a tactical SA. Not enough resources. I'm thinking, could I convert other things into division tech? Nope. That's not a thing. But you can do it the other way. You can convert division tech into anything else.
Warning.
Oh yes, I remember this.
Temperature detected.
The surprise.
Alert. Detachment progress halted.
Okay. Hello guys. Wasn't expecting that. Come on. There we go. This guy, I didn't see him either. I actually thought he spawned in front of me, but now I realize he was hiding behind something, which is very strange. So I go behind these gates, and I'm like, okay, I'll shoot him through the gates. You know, that's gonna work, right? No. I couldn't see them. I'm like, I can't see anything. Alright, 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 I'll jump over the gate. Oh jeez, I apologize for that. Should have turned off my... like, wait a minute, that means there was a guy left. But I think he just blew himself up.
Warning. Infection levels increasing.
No more medicine. Actually, in the past, survival, there used to be that the NPCs would drop medicine all the time. Well, actually, not all the time, but quite often. And I think they removed that, actually, so... So eventually, I think around here, I'm gonna finally find Division Tech. I see yellow, I follow yellow. Yellow is usually a good sign of Division Tech. Sometimes in these alleys there's little chests, that's just a cache, but if sometimes you can actually find Division Tech in these kinds of areas. I was just really unlucky. Either that or I was blind, because, you know, like I said, I did pass some up earlier and I didn't see it until now. So here's an extraction zone, but since I don't have the flare gun, I can't leave. And I can't fight that guy, because he doesn't spawn until you, until you use the flare gun. I was wondering why I was eating, but I'm like, oh yeah, my health was low. So in the midst of all that, you have to fight this crazy hard guy. Your screen goes all wishy-washy and staticky, and you hear these weird sounds, and you have to fight him where you're pretty much blind, shooting at this thing that's way overpowered. And unfortunately I never get to that because you'll see what happens. The ending is so anticlimactic. I see yellow. I see purple guys. I'm like, I'll wait a few seconds. Let me see if I can find anything at the end of the street. Come here, Division Tech, come here. I'm looking very carefully now. I'm starting to get desperate. I've been here long enough. Are you Division Tech? Nope, you're just weapon parts. But I see an alley. I mean, I thought I saw an alley. Okay, I see enemies that are walking down the street, and I remember that those other guys are there, and I'm thinking, if I, you know, I'm not careful, I'm gonna have both sets of guys on me at once. But you know what, I have no choice, it's fight or die. So I'm trying to put my turret on top of the car, and I'm not really getting the results I want, but better than nothing. No, don't throw grenades. No, no.
Warning. Infection progressing.
And now I'm like, what? They're fighting each other? They're actually helping me out, so it was actually to my advantage that I left them alive. But now I'm gonna have to kill them. Come here, flame guys. I forget their names. Flame. There's the rioters, there's Rikers. I really don't remember. Boom, headshot. Oh, miss. 3 times. I'm like, forget that. I'm in a terrible spot. I kind of wondered what that death was all about, because I saw that orange smoke, and he didn't really have a body anymore. He just sort of disappeared, so... Oh no, his body's still there, just it looked weird. It was a weird death for me. I was... kind of confused. Now I can go down that alley. But I still saw some guys running by.
Detection address halted.
Come on, Division Tech. Yellow, yellow, follow the yellow. Up the ladder, the glowing ladder. And lo and behold, I finally found you, Division Tech. And since I don't know when I'm ever going to get the chance to heat up again, I figure, well, why not? At least my cold bar is going down really, really slowly.
Detecting lowering of core body temperature. Threat of hypothermia increased.
So now I realize I just need to make the flare gun, and even though I'm not prepared and I don't have a yellow gun, and I usually would, I'm thinking, this has gone on long enough. I'm going to try to make an attempt to get out of here. Yeesh. I'm like, no, I don't really want to fight you guys. No thanks. I didn't come all this way and play all this time for me to get shot down by a missile guy. Again, I'm running past the extraction point. I wish I had remembered where it was, because when I looked for it on the map, which you will see soon, I couldn't for the life of me find it.
Warning. Detection levels increasing.
I actually don't remember what I was looking for there. I just think I was just trying to make sure there was no enemies behind me. Now it's time to prepare for war. The war that never happened. And that's where I pull a new mistake. I pressed the wrong button. Leave it to me. Leave it to me to do something silly like that.
Flare gun required for extraction is
Finally. Finally. Flare gun. Now I make the mistake. I pick the wrong gun. G36 is really what I want. And I pick a tactical because of the DPS. And I forgot which one was burst and which one wasn't. It's always G36, which I usually pick. Anyways. So now I'm thinking, okay, do I have enough for yellow armor? Nope. Oh, maybe. Maybe. was contemplating making a marksman rifle, but I didn't have enough. I didn't have any division tech, so I'm like, ah, that is a shame. So skipping ahead of that, I didn't have enough electronics to make the support station. Otherwise I would have switched Pulse out for that. This part is quite boring. I'm not even gonna lie. So now I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna mod my gun. And I actually forgot. I actually forgot where that slot went, and I'm thinking, wait, I didn't make any of these. What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, get rid of the stuff I don't want. It's registering with me. I don't want a shotgun. Nope. I don't want this assault rifle. Nope. And now I remember, like, oh look, what am I doing? I'm like, ah, forget it. So now I'm pretty much set. I can't really do anything else right now. I would have really liked to have made some yellow armor, but that just wasn't gonna be a thing. And I wasn't gonna stay there for another like 20 years just trying to desperately gather resources and hope not to die. Especially since my timer was starting to run out since I ran out of medicine. So I'm like, look, it's do or die. Let's do it now. Storm is starting to happen. I'm looking for the extraction point now, which seems to be invisible on my map for some bizarre reason. And I'm looking and I'm looking, and I see nothing, and I see one tiny little one. And I'm like, alright. I always have to check to make sure it's not medicine that I forgot. Even though, since the update, there's never really, you're never really gonna have an abundance of medicine. That's not gonna be a thing. Unless you, like, loot a hospital. And then I see it's a burst gun, and I'm like, oh, what did I do? What did I do? The recoil is insane. It goes up and up. At this point I should have probably just sniped him.
Body temperature dropping below normal levels.
I'm like, oh no. Oh no. And here's where things fall apart. So, I'm gonna stop the video when it stops, because the server actually crashed on me, which was complete BS. But I want to say thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my commentary. I think it was a bit silly, but I appreciate you watching, so take care, everybody.